Hello and welcome to another episode of This Week in Business. A bit of a late upload, I know, but right on time considering a juicy piece of news that just dropped. So let's get right into it. This is, of course, related to the auto industry because there's always something going on with the auto industry. And in this case, it was Trump's 25% tariffs on US imports. So the idea is that these tariffs would force automakers to build plants in the United States instead of Canada or Mexico so that they wouldn't have to import all of those vehicles. But Cox Automotive, which is a company that's basically entire motto is to analyze the industry, states that this will be really bad for consumers in the short and midterm in particular. It's also in the long term if it doesn't change. But this is going to be because prices are going to increase dramatically, right? Prices are going to go from $3,000 to $6,000 more expensive potentially depending on how many important parts they have. And production of vehicles is also going to slow down by about 30%, according to them. This is a heavy, heavy cost, considering that the auto industry is one of the more impactful ones in the United States. It's a very big industry, it's historical, and whether or not this is really going to have positive changes, I don't really personally think so, mostly because time across time and time again across history, it has been proven that tariffs just don't really work. They're more of a political weapon than they are an economic one. But yeah, he just put these forward. So let's see how that's going to react in the future, huh? On other news, we have OpenAI. OpenAI does not expect to be cash flow positive until 2029. That is quite a few years from now. You see, currently the company has not been performing great. They have been rising in value. Hell, they even doubled their paid subscriber numbers since September of last year, all the way to 2 million currently. But they believe that they will reach and surpass $125 billion in revenue in 2029, sorry. Even though they have yet to reach $10 billion this year. I'm not entirely sure how the math is mathing over there at OpenAI. Maybe they ask their AI computers how valuable everything was going to be, and that's what it determined. But point is, despite the fact that it actually has been largely successful, like a shit ton of people use AI, it's everywhere. It's still not really as well profitable as a company of this impact should be. It is quite interesting from that perspective that something like this can even exist. A company that is successful and very impactful on society, yet not exactly really profitable. It is very interesting to me. The next piece of news is again related to AI and it has to do with job applications. Because, well, people that are applying to jobs, they're using AI because it's just a bit easier. It makes your life a bit simpler in the moment. You don't have to be filling out 1,000 job applications. Just use AI, right? Sure. But this is causing concern for employers because they don't know if people that use AI are necessarily capable employees or potential employees. And they say it's not always obvious which CVs have been made with AI, but many of them also just repeat a bunch of phrases like leveraging a skill set, which is not something that people usually say. And the fact that so many are using it means that a lot of phrases, a lot of commonalities are appearing, which also sucks for whoever does use these phrases and didn't use AI because now they're being targeted as AI uh, users, which employers might think are not qualified people for this. Obviously, this tech is widespread. It's here to stay. It's not gonna go anywhere. But it's obvious that there's quite a bit of uncertainty regarding it. It's not very clear whether or not it's really going to be useful for most people, like truly, truly useful for most people. It's definitely useful in a lot of areas and scientific research and pattern recognition and the like, but for your average Joe, it just seems more of a, it seems more to be more of a toy, almost, really. And finally, the French minister has declared Latin America as a strategic region. Laurent Saint-Martin gave a speech in foreign commerce, hosted in Mexico, and he cited international uncertainty in the global market thanks to certain unnamed parties. I'm sure you can guess who, and stated that Latin America is a region that is poised to become a key player in the diversification of the global supply chain, which is not really inaccurate considering all the resources and the cheap workforce that exists in the region. So the man and plenty others in France in particular have stated that they want to strengthen their bonds with Latin America as a region in order to be able to benefit from this in the future. But we don't know exactly how this is going to lead to anything. After all, he just gave a speech. There were no promises made for anything else in particular. And that will be all. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a good night, and I hope I'll see you again in another episode of This Week in Business.